I picked up this Gold Star, right? So Gold Stars, obviously relatively low pop. I don't want to get a 10 in a Gold Star Celebi. Now look, you see this, right? This is a PSA 1.
Yeah.
Look at the front of the card.
Oh, it doesn't look one worthy. In fact, in the one, it doesn't even look one worthy from the back.
Thank you.
Wow.
So I liked this copy. I could have cared less if it was graded correctly as a 7, if it had a 5 on it. Just look at the card.
Oh my god.
Is it not like?
Oh my god.
Could be like 9 quality.
I'm so serious.
It's not 1, right?
I've seen PSA 5s and 6 that look worse than this.
I know. That's why I picked it up.
What happened to this Graders Day?
And shout outs to
they got divorced this day, guys. This card looks like a 7 and an 8, on a good day. Like, it does not look like a 1. The fact that this is a 1 is crazy.
It's criminal.
All right, so honestly, let's talk. So this week of the card launch episode was actually good. It was actually really good if you're looking in the hobby long term and you're really considering grading, which honestly I think you guys should, especially just so you guys can maybe increase the value of your collection. Like always, you guys want to increase the value of your collection while there is a monetary value. So later on, you can go ahead and trade out or trade into some of the things that you might like, because some of the things that are available right now could be the future grails for younger generation growing up. Especially we have kids partaking in the hobby, ripping with their packs. But the card lounge knocked out that episode where there's a couple things that I kind of want to talk about and emphasize when it comes to grading, especially since earlier this week too, we had another fantastic episode. Not by the card lounge, but we had another fantastic episode or YouTube piece, a YouTube content by Java Akuma. And the title of that episode is going to be I spent $3,000 testing tags grading consistency. I fucked that up, but there it is. It's going to be on the video. And honestly, if you ever thought about tag grading, I think you guys absolutely have to look into that video, because there's a lot of things that we should really be looking. We should talk about it. We should talk about content creation, but we should talk about grading in general. Now, so let's talk about let's begin with a card lounge. So with the card lounge, there you go. He picked up a PSA 1, and whenever they were looking into the card, there's no way this could be a PSA 1. There's absolutely no way. Possibly a 6 or 7 on a Gold Star price. That is insane. Now, I do have a couple questions about the card in general. I wonder if the person who sold that PSA 1 Gold Star knew what they had. Were they people who are just getting into grading? Because don't get me wrong, there are people who strictly collect PSA 1s. Whenever we're talking about a Gold Star, that's a grail for some people, for some collectors. But some people will intentionally damage cards to go ahead and get a PSA 1 copy for their collection. That's what people like to collect. Super cool, right? They can collect whatever you want. But that the guy who had the PSA 1 and sold them to RoboSkills, did they even know what they had? That's interesting, right? Because any person getting into grading could go ahead and see and be like, I don't think this is a PSA 1. I can go ahead and grade and potentially increase the value more than what a PSA 1 Gold Star would go for. But you had it there. RoboSkills got that card as a PSA 1 for a fantastic price, and if it was to regrade it according to them, that card is gonna do well. But why am I starting with that part of the card lounge? Well, I'm gonna connect it to Java Akuma's video where they were testing the consistency of tag grading. Now, if you guys watch that video, fantastic. You might have questions, because here's the thing: anything that you watch from content content creators, especially when it comes to like testing rates, testing gem rates, testing the grading company's consistency. You know, everything should be taken into a grain of salt, but there are things in that video that I, a tag supporter, wouldn't be able to defend, wouldn't want to defend, because I believe defending tag grading when it came to those things, they were absolutely wrong. But let's talk about it. So if you watch the consistency video, the tag consistency video, this is going to be the second time that he does it, and for his credit, he put a very clickbaity thumbnail. I spent $3,000 testing tag grading. And a lot of it has to do with the current prices and the current situation of the grading market, or I guess, yeah, the grading markets, that no company is doing any value, any bulk, or any, for the most part, any cheap submissions. So if you want to go ahead and grade with them, and if you're grading bulk, it's going to be expensive. But once again, you guys shouldn't be grading bulk at these prices. These prices don't make sense unless you're grading high-end chase cards. But guess what? If you're the one that's grading high-end chase cards, you're grading with everyone else who's also grading high-end chase cards. Right now, we're in a deep bottleneck. So yeah, $3,000 when it comes to grading, and for the most part, because at the end he had to grade with the express shipping, right, or the express tier, where it's charging you $150. It's a 5-day turnaround, basically a week, and it's going to include the score. So you guys watch the video, and whenever you guys are watching the first 15 minutes, for the most part, it's looking like the video is the video, I guess, is portrayed, or it's written up in a way that positively illuminates tag grading, that they are consistent. They graded cards, they picked up certain cards where Cosmo Holo Swirls, and this is one of those things that I told you guys, like Cosmo Holo Swirls, when it comes to like tag grading, you wouldn't have to worry, like you're not going to be able to resubmit those cards, because the Cosmo Holo pattern, including with the swirls, are going to map out basically a Cosmo constellation, if you will, just like the stars, a specific sequence, you know, set apart by a specific distance that you will not be able to fake, replicate, or, you know, anything. If you grade it once through tag, that's going to map it out. It should map it out, and therefore it's going to stay like that. And they picked those kind of cards. They picked the English cards because the Japanese cards back border could be a little bit difficult to grade. And I'll be honest, as someone who likes to grade and collect Japanese cards, the back border will kick your ass. The only thing that it will go ahead and like really bad centering, it's kind of hard to tell just because of the way that it finishes. But in the corners and at the edges, you will see whitening marks that will come out. And that's it for the Japanese back. But for the English back, you know, off center, you'll be able to tell dings, whitening, edge damage, anything. You will be able to tell in the back of the English cards. So they did really good by picking good test cards. They went with English cards. They went English cards because it's going to be easy to grade from the front and the back when it comes to centering. So you eliminate any doubt there. You pick Cosmo Holo cards because there's going to be some pattern that you will not be able to duplicate or replace. And then the swirl is going to stay in a certain area. Like there's certain fail proofs with this test that whenever you start looking at what he was doing, it made sense because he graded the first cards, he sent them, got them back, he cracked them, regraded them, and like of course the swirls, the placement of the holo, he even marked up a couple cards with a little edging or like engraving, if you will, and whenever they came back, they were all coming back resubmitted, so they weren't getting a new grade. It wasn't affecting the population report. Tag grading, for the most part, was staying consistent with their claims. But obviously, if that's my big emphasis of the video right now, then we can go ahead and conclude that the video didn't finish like that. And the video didn't finish like that. It really didn't. They tested it again. Good results. So I think there was like 2 tests before they had to do the big and final test, right? By the time they had to do the big and final test, that's whenever tag grading had eliminated value, bulk, regular tiers, and you were only left with express, having to pay that $150, and that's why it got so expensive for them, right? But this is one of the first things that I noticed. Sorry, we'll finish with the video. Whenever he got the cards back from paying $150 for that express grading, the cards were graded all over again, given a different cert number. So it seems like the tag AI system either 1, didn't pick up the resubmitted cards, or 2, maybe, and just maybe, there's different policies within tag headquarters that if someone grades cards with express grading, they will bypass and regrade the cards again. Now, I think this is a big issue that tag might have down the road, fighting and defending itself, is why are you doing that? If your biggest thing is consistent, you have to stay consistent across all pay levels, all tiers of grading. You can't change it up from the value bulk, from the bulk to the express to the overnight. And I mentioned this before. If tag is doing what they're supposed to be doing, if tag grading, the AI is doing what it's supposed to be doing, I feel more confident that if I bought cards from tag down the road, they weren't altered. They weren't painted. People didn't buy tag slabs, crack them because they're easy to crack, restored them, fixed them, painted them, did whatever they did, graded through tag all over again so they can get a higher value. That's something that I was really rooting for tag. But the video showed that no, you pay a higher tier, those cards are getting regraded except for one. But you cannot have that except for one kind of thing. Like, it picked up one card. It should have picked up the whole entire submission as already graded, and someone was trying to do a regrade with those cards, that every single card in his submission should have been flagged. Honestly, if the system would have done that, I can guarantee you that people will be loving tag even more. Now, I don't know how much this video is spreading. I'm pretty sure it's going to be spreading like wildfire, especially when grading becomes available for everyone else, or not available, right? But the backlog is no longer there where more people can go ahead and grade and make grading plays, because there's some money behind grading plays, right? But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. I showed that video to my coworkers and I asked them, what do you think? B. Ryan Kisser, someone to give you guys a little context. He is someone who kind of jumped into the hobby because he knows that you can make a lot of money by pulling the chase card out of one pack. And whenever I tell him about market, whenever I tell him about grading, he strongly believes that grading, especially subjective grading, is a scam. Whenever I talk about AI grading, he can get behind that. But whenever I told him that the AI system is not being super consistent, not in the grading grades themselves, but the fact that they're regrading cards that the system has already graded, he's like, tag is false advertising, is not telling you what they're supposed to do. I asked Scalper Chris, and Scalper Chris is like, he told me is like, tag is hurting himself for trying to be everything that PSA is not. You know, they're gonna market, they're gonna emphasize inconsistency and transparency. Now, honestly, if tag grading sees that video and has an answer, that could be favorable for the transparency aspect. But most importantly, an AI grading company has to be consistent across everything, all across the board. There is no room for error on that part. A card that's going to be resubmitted through Tag, from Tag, right? Not from any other grading company, but if you're resubmitting, you're cracking a Tag graded card and resubmit it through Tag, it should always, regardless of the price, come out as a regrade, not a new score, right? But that's what Scalpers Chris main end point. Tag is trying so hard to be everything that PSA is not, that they're shooting themselves in the foot. Whenever I talk to Ripping Robert about it and ask them about it, and he's it sucks. Like it doesn't look good for an AI company either. But when it to the end of the day, his main point is I would rather buy and grade a card through Tag grading, because one, you're having the system grade the card initially, and two, you should have human interaction going into the card and making the final parts or the final grade adjustments for that card. Now I wonder if maybe the person is the one who actually changed the grade, because Tag should have a second person. They should have human interaction with the final grade of the card. So I would rather buy a card through Tag that is going to be graded by a system, followed to be verified by a person at the end. Look, when it comes to that, we do have to understand one thing. Tag grading is basically in the forefront of grading in general, right? And this is the more popular grading company, at least in Canada, United States, and now going to be in South America, right? This is going to be the most popular AI grading company at the moment. Who knows if this is going to be something that's going to hurt them down the road? Because here's the thing, people are going to be watching that video online, and right off the bat, they're going to be going hard after Tag, right? But like I said, it could have been the first time that the system, the AI, saying duplicate, you're failing, like regrade or reslabbing the card, not giving them a new grade, that it brought concern to the human operators of AI or of Tag to override that. Or we gotta understand that AI should always be learning, always be evolving, right? So if these cards that Java sent for grading are not popular cards and they have very little information to deal with, that there's a possibility that the grading parameters are going to change. Some of his cards went up a higher grade whenever he paid the higher tier money, so keep that in mind. There's also that inconsistency problem, that if you're paying more for your Tag grading services and you get the score, you might have a more favorable score down the road for yourself. That's a possibility. But it's hard to defend this one. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to defend this one. However, look, right now, one of those things that I told you guys that you guys should be doing is don't be grading with PSA. Don't be grading with Tag CGC. Right now, it's not the time. Source cards, especially because there's a lot of good cards that could be sourced for cheap. Look.
The Piplup from Mega Evolution, the one that we're known as cute. The cute
Piplup, yeah.
That card is basically $12 raw right now, and a pack of Mega Evolution is like basically like $10-12. Oh, it came from Phantasmal Flames. It wasn't in Mega Evolution.
No, right.
It came in Phantasmal Flames, which is even worse.
And that is
because it's like 12 or 14 bucks for like
14, 15 bucks a pack,
for like a Phantasmal Flame pack.
Sure.
If you would just want a Piplup illustration rare, you should just buy one raw for $12.
Yeah.
But that's because people are flooding the market. Like, they're ripping Phantasmal Flames, they pull the Piplup and they immediately sell it. If someone was smart, they'd say like, oh well, I would rather have like 100 Piplup over 100 Phantasmal Flames pack, almost. You know what I mean?
Like I said before, this should be the time that you guys should be sourcing cards. And one of the areas that I think you guys should really be sourcing is going to be the Mega Evolution block. Just because for a lot of things, they're not very popular set. We are talking about, We've already been saying it about two weeks already. Perfect Order, Chaos Rising, Pitch Black are not popular sets. They don't maintain their value if you're looking at it in the investor side. But if you're looking to be grading, these should be the sets that you're looking for. Why? Well, yes, right now, none of these cards have crazy value, but that's the big reason why is because there's no PSA 10s, there is no CGC 10s, there is no tag 10s out there graded to show you like, oh, these cards are worth something. Because if you're if you're in this hobby, then you already know that grading and the market go hand in hand. Whenever there's a high PSA 10 sale or moderately high, the raw card tends to be a little bit more expensive. So without the grading prices backing up these Mega Evolution cards, a lot of these Mega Evolution cards right now are severely undervalued. Now, I'm not going to tell you which cards are the most undervalued card, but I've told you guys before, I have 3 rules whenever it comes to grading. You should be looking to pick up 3 types of card, especially on bulk. We are talking Black Star promos, that could be either from ETBs, and this is something that we really have to deal with for the first time, because Black Star promos in the ETBs started from Scarlet and Violet. Maybe the Lucario from Crown Zenith, they started a new trend. So we have very little information about the ETB promos, but ETB promos are going to be one of those things that are going to be sought after by collectors, because it's a card that you cannot pull randomly. It seems like ETBs and booster boxes are on limited print runs going on now. Because look, you can make some points, right? You can make some points, and some of these sets are mass produced or mass printed, but what we're really getting is we're getting maybe 2 runs of ETBs. You got your first initial run of booster boxes, 2 runs of ETBs, but we got unlimited reprints of auxiliary products, making those Black Star promo cards a lot more rare than what you think. Maybe not so much on the Japanese sides, but they're a lot more rare. So therefore, always pick them up. And like I said, pick up Black Star promos, especially if they're under like $5. There's a lot of Black Star promos right now that you could be getting, especially for the Mega Evolution era, that a lot of people don't care. They don't have any value. So you can go pick them up for $2 to $3 and all of a sudden have 100 copies and ready for grading later. Because with 100 copies, you can definitely identify with a little bit of fucking work which one's the best copy. And whether you grade with PSA or whether you grade through tag, having 10 copies of a Black Star promo, grading it, they typically sell for like around $250, you know, 150 to 250, and that's depending on the Pokemon's popularity and the set. That's not bad. $5 plus a value bulk grading fee, maybe another 20. You're looking at 25 cards. You send 10 of those, that's $250 with this is why I like to use tag, no upcharge. You know, you're looking at like around $300, $320 of grading fees, shipping and handling and everything. All you really need is for 2 cards of those, 2 to 3 of those cards come back as the 10, and you break even. After that, it's all profit, and you can repeat the same thing over and over and over again. So collect Black Star promos. Another one that I like to collect, you know, the margins might be a little bit smaller depending on the level that you do this, but they're going to be Cosmo Holo Swirl or Cosmo Holo cards, especially if they're from blisters, if they're from the auxiliary product. Like those cards usually go for 15 to 50 cents at most, depending on, once again, on the popularity of the Pokemon, but there's margins behind it. Look, those cards can either be hard or easy to get access to. If you're really going after these cards, that you want to be going after, you know, the people that you know that are ripping shippers or store owners that are constantly ripping those products to get the packs. They don't really care much for the cards, but they will sell the cards. Target them. You can go ahead and get a huge bulk value from people like that. Car stores are a fantastic area, and of course your trade nights or your conventions. Look for the collectors, not the vendors. Go after the collectors. See if they have any Cosmo Holo cards that they might be willing to trade. You get 100 of those and you will do good, because once again, if we do the math for some of these Cosmo Holo cards, you're looking at 15 to like 30 cents per card, right? You can buy a shitload of cards for 50 bucks, for 25 bucks, right? You can buy close to 100 copies like that. It's a lot of fucking work, but you can make it happen. But let's say you do make it happen. You look for the 10 best cards. On top of that, you look for the ones that have swirls, because if you get them, you can have a little swirl tax at the end. But you go ahead and grade those cards at a value bulk. Your buy-in price, you're basically, for every single card, you're looking at like, maybe now you're really looking at $25 per card. So like at $25 per card for the Cosmo, for the slab, for the grading process, for the shipping and handling, a 9 is a break-even cost. So Cosmo Holo swirls. So we talked about Black Star promos, Cosmo Holo swirls, and the last cards that you should be collecting. Well, this one's, you can collect the cards that you want for your collection. You should also be collecting the generation that you care for the most. Because here's the thing, like, I like Gen 1, I like Gen 2. I know the people around my age group like Gen 1 and Gen 2. But there's going to be other age groups that might like Gen 5. They might like Gen 7. They might end up liking Gen 8, Gen 9, because those are the games that they grew up playing on the Switch, and those are the packs that they ended up ripping with their parents. So later down the road, there's probably going to be a big increase of people who love Gen 9. Gen 9 is the best Gen 9 and not Gen 1. But you should be going after cards that you like and the ones that you want to trade or sell to your peers from your current demographic or your age group. I know that's a little bit harder to say, but like right now, there's no denying that Gen 1 is probably the most popular generation in Pokemon as of right now. You can argue, you can say whatever you fucking want, but Mew, Mewtwo, Charizard, Pikachu, Eevee, the evolutions, Dragonite, these Arcanine to some extent, you know, but nah, I'm just throwing that one because I'm an Arcanine fan. The starters, it's a very, very strong gen. The birds, a very, very strong gen. And usually whenever those cards are chase cards, they tend to kind of pump up the value of those sets. You can't deny that. They do it more consistently than any other generation. More consistently. So there's grading plays to be made. Look, check it out.
Than 14
what I'm trying to say
pack.
is that
It's
there are cards that are so undervalued right now.
Yeah.
It's less than a pack cost.
Is that wait, yeah, because okay, let's say even if it cost 2 packs to get the Piplup, you're not gonna every 2 packs of Destined
That'd
Rivals
be like 24 bucks.
pull a Piplup.
It should
right?
probably be closer to like 24 bucks. The fact that it's like
Is the Piplup really only 10 to 12?
Oh yeah, I'll give you another example.
But graded in a 10, it's like
It's expensive.
250 or 350.
If you
right?
find a good one, you should just keep it for now. Like you don't have to grade it right now. You don't have to risk paying $80 to grade it with PSA right now. Just hold on to that card for a year or two. It's not going to degrade, you know what I mean? For example, another one.
Look, it's solid. Like, that's solid advice. I don't always agree with the things they say, but this one, like, I cannot disagree with them at one bit. And like, to wrap the whole entire video around about tags inconsistency, PSAs inconsistencies, and then with what they're saying. Hold on, give me. Well, look. Honestly, it was a great episode. They had a fantastic episode. They made a lot of great points. And one of those things that I really enjoyed that they did is they didn't interrupt themselves. They actually got to finish their points. It doesn't always happen. God, that shit drives me crazy. But it's solid advice. Like right now, you shouldn't be grading. Why? because it's not cheap. Whenever grading becomes available, it doesn't mean that graders are going to grade. It means that there's going to be these companies that we talked about that do the mystery slab bags who need cards to grade, that they're probably going to be sending thousands of submissions and they're going to clog up the system all over again. What makes it worse is that the Mega Evolution era right now is currently untapped, ungraded. But whenever grading becomes available, not only are you going to have the Mega Evolution era finally go through these grading companies and we start seeing the 10 copies of these cards, but we're probably also going to have the 30th anniversary. And there's going to be moves. There's going to be people who are going to be end up grading the $1 Pikachu cards that you get in every single pack for the same reason. We're going to see those cards. We're going to see the Shinji Kanda Pikachu graded to oblivion. We're going to be seeing the classic collection cards. We're going to be seeing all these cards. It doesn't matter. They're going to be graded like crazy through any kind of company that even after the 30th anniversary, I would say it's not a good time to grade. Honestly, we're probably looking at a year and a half to where I can honestly say this is where you're grading to make a profit. You can make some moves, you can make some plays, but just know that your biggest enemy, it's not going to be other collectors. It's going to be the people who are doing mass grading, and could potentially crash the market. And most importantly, it's going to be the time before you get those cards back. Outside from that, I really do hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. I've actually enjoyed jumping back on this bandwagon and start making videos a little bit more consistently. So with that being said, I do appreciate it if you guys like the video. Drop a comment if there's something that I said that like, oh shit, made you think, had a conversation within yourself, or inspired you to do a video talking about the same topic. Drop a comment, and like always, subscribe. If not, down the road, we're not gonna have nothing but like AI voice content or big titty or big chested goth girls doing Pokemon content on their Blue Page accounts. Outside from that, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.